speeches. Now, what dark speeches means is something a man is saying and it's not clear. Something a man is seeing and it's not clear. Now, that thing that man is saying or seeing that is not clear is called dark speeches. What I say it's called? Huh? Now, the reason so many prophets die young is because of dark speeches. Excuse me. Don't joke what I'm saying, because you see, I understand it, because I've been in the prophetic ministry for 31 years. You need to hear me. And not only in the prophetic ministry for 31 years, I understand the mind. Now, why I teach about mind is because I would like you to know how dangerous and useful the mind is. If you say, praise God, I'm going to give you this gift. Now, all the days of your life, don't trust your mind. Don't trust your thought. If you have a wife or you have a husband, take out time to have fellowship. Don't keep something in your heart for your wife. Always ask her. Engage in constant discussion. If you believe your wife is trying to suspect you, tell her. Try to tell her something she's supposed to know. Is it because the mind is naturally dark? Now, because the mind is naturally dark, the mind connects to dark nature. Because the mind fellowships easily with darkness than light. Particularly in African society, where there is no much light. That is why we grow native doctors. Even in the church, there is still no much light. Can I keep helping? Huh? I'm sharing on why dark speeches. Excuse me. Listen. There is something I know practically. If a prophet stay in the prophetic ministry for 10 years without converting to the apostolic, he will creep into error without knowing. That is what is called ministry of voice. If you look at chapter 7, verse 1, 7, verse 1 of Exodus, I want us to look at that. There are two minds there. What I say? There are two minds. And the Lord said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a God to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be
the prophet.
Now, I have made thee a God. Moses, the mind of Moses with light made him a God. The mind of Aaron made him a prophet. Now, this prophet you see here that Aaron became, the prophet that Aaron became here, Aaron is a man that prophet there means Aaron doesn't have a God. No, he doesn't have a God. He was made in a way that he cannot have a God. So he had the mind of a prophet. He has a limited mind. Now, when a mind is limited, it is God. There is abundance of darkness in that limited mind. Now, prophets prophets, they are of dark speeches because of their mental limitation. Yes. And then God does not want to change them. So he attached a man to them. Let us see that he attached a man to them just to solve the problem of dark speeches. Because it is dark speeches that wound prophets to death. Like where I came from in the southeast, a lot of prophets and prophetess are growing up saying all manner of things, and they are dying, they are being wounded to death continuously. Why? That is what I'm trying to explain. Because they cannot see it clearly. They are not seeing it clearly not because they need to fast more. No, they don't need to fast more. They don't need to fast more. They need to go to a God. You see, because God does not change the nature of a spirit of a man. Now, if you look at chapter 4, 15 and 16 of Exodus. Exodus chapter 4, 15 and 16.
And thou shalt speak unto him, and put words in his mouth.
And put word in his mouth.
And I will be with thy mouth and with his mouth.
And I will be with thy mouth and with thy mouth.
And will teach you what you shall do.
Now, God didn't want to be with the mouth of Aaron. He can't be. No, God cannot be with the mouth. God will never be with the mouth of Aaron. Aaron will never change into being like Moses. People don't change. There's an ordination. Ordination attracts support. Even in revelation, even there are some things God cannot tell you direct. He needs somebody to help you because you are not meant to understand it directly. Even in the person helping you, the person should help you at your level and leave from you things you should not know. It is not always good to teach people things they shouldn't know. And then not having ability to know is the limitation. I told that lady when we were talking on phone, I told her, I said, if truth is a commodity, some people cannot buy certain truths. And if they can't buy, then they will pay for not having value to buy it. And then you should not make you shouldn't make it available to them. Can I say it again? One day I told you, can I say it again? That's what I said. Okay, it was a presbytery. You know, I had boldness to tell to a presbytery. I said, there is no need sharing the ordinance of immortality with a married man. The man was looking at me. You cannot share the ordinance of immortality with a man that have wife and children. The deep things of immortality, why will you do it? The man has already made a choice contrary to that covenant. There are things you don't teach people after they have made certain choices. The choices they made have already kept them outside certain wheels. Now, listen, in case you don't know, there is a measure of light in your heart. You won't choose some things. There's a measure of brightness. This one, some people are saying they push you. There's something that when someone suggests it to you, you feel like killing him. Because it is contrary to your light. You know, I use everything to learn. Something just happened now before I came into this place. And it was a great lesson to me in my whole life. And I won't tell you what happened, but I want to help somebody to tell you two things. Listen. Number one is, don't joke with your peculiarity. Two, don't joke with something you do for God that make you peculiar. That is the way you are. God like Odara from you. Whether you're happy or not, give him the Odara. Give him the Odara. Excuse me. Whether rain is falling or sun is shining, find out where he is and give him that Odara. If that Odara is why you're peculiar to him. And then finally, three things I told you. Finally, when God blesses people and you're intelligent, find out why he's blessing them. It doesn't always depend on God. There's always a why. And if you're a young man, you want to get married, when you see a very unique girl, whatever it will take you to take her, pay. Even if it means begging you. But don't think of replacing her with somebody who is not as good as she is. Because values are not replaced. No. Values are not also duplicated. Now, I said dark speeches, hot. All the prophets I know, they have been hot. And I'm afraid of, that's why I don't do much prophecy anymore. I don't want to be hot. Excuse me. I mean H-U-R-T. Can I tell you something? Do you know all my life why I don't do argument? Why I don't do argument is because I don't trust my mind. I've never trusted my mind. If I say that this thing is like this, and you say it is like that, I will accept. Because I don't know exactly. I can't trust my mind. Somebody who came from my village cannot trust his mind. So I don't dwell on suspicion. No. I also don't do argument. If I see you going towards the sea, where I will stop is that I see you going there. I'm not going to wonder about what you're doing there. I'm not going to bother my mind to even suspect what you're doing. Because my mind might not be right. I already know it. So what I tried, and I know that my mind is a seat of my destiny. So I try, that's why I'm teaching. When I'm done with teaching now, pray short prayer, then I'm done. Now I said here, God does not give prophets mouth. The person that gives prophets mouth is God's. I don't know how to say to young people, listen, in 31 years of preaching in Nigeria, I've met so many prophets around the world. Listen, large number of these prophets are no longer there. And I know what killed them. In so many places, color visionaries. I'm trying to help a boy, a young lady, to say don't trust dark speeches. If you're a seer, get a father in the Lord who can direct you. Don't say, I know what I saw. As people who are arrogant, they say, I know what I saw. I say, excuse me, don't trust that thing. You're trying to get hot. You can't trust dark speeches. You cannot trust dream. You can't trust vision. You can't say, I saw. These things are produced from the mind. They are activities of the day that reflects in the night. That is why if you meet a great prophet, he say, I saw this, is that correct? I saw this, is that correct? I saw this, is that correct? He will be asking you. Huh? Yes. But if you meet younger ones, they say, I know what I saw. Excuse me, what you saw can't be right all the time. Did you clap for what I just said? You see, because the eyes go through the mind. So, because I don't want to get wounded, I want to build my life on the word. And that is why I brought this. I'm about to be done with it. That's why I have already helped young prophets. I know I'm going to help them. And in case you're here, you're a seer. I've been in the prophetic ministry for 31 years. You're just an apprentice. And why I am alive now, it is what I'm teaching you. If I am not a seer, you now say I'm jealous. I'm not jealous of you. I can call your name. It's not too much. I can know your village. I can do it now. It's not too much. No matter how good it is, it hurts. Have you ever asked a question? How many prophets are living with their wives? Prophetess. Huh? How many are living with their wives? How many are without scandal? How many are without very deep scandals? Some of those things happen. Can it not be escaped? It can be escaped by